Hello everyone, this is going to be my guide to learning and playing Abbasid in Age of Empires 4. Now Abbasid is generally a very boomy type civ, and what that means is that you're generally trying to macro and there's not a lot of early fighting, or at least not any that you instigate, at least right away, like some other civs like English or French. So Abbasid is, based off of camels, economy, and technology, like it says here. And the types of, players that want to play this are players that want to boom, but you also have to learn how to defend yourself. So if you're used to being quite aggressive, then Abbasid is probably not for you. And then I'm going to do a couple of openings. So the House of Wisdom, which is their main unique building, has 4 different wings. It has the Culture Wing, Economic Wing, Military Wing, and Trade Wing. And as of this video in October 2023, there is a scenario in which you might want to play all 4 of the wings. Whereas previously, prior to their big rework, for those of you in the know, it was pretty much standard to go economic wing first. And so we're going to go through some of the scenarios in which you go the different wings, and I'm going to go through the builds associated with them. Okay, so we'll start off with the economic wing, because that's actually the first one that shows up. That's the Q button if you use hotkeys on the House of Wisdom. So this gives you Fertile Crescent, Agriculture, and improved processing at the respective ages. So most of the time when you go Economic Wing and you go Fertile Crescent, you're going into 3 TCs. So that's your original TC plus 2 additional TCs. And what this means is that instead of the TC costing you 750 resources, 400 wood and 350 stone, it's going to cost you 25% of that. So that would be 300 wood, 25% less. So that would be 300 wood and 262 stone. And so generally you want to go multiple TCs if you do go economic wing. Okay. Now the scenarios in which you would go economic wing, if we take a look at the other civs, the other matchups, you generally will want to go economic wing against Malians right now, English, HRE, and an Abbasid mirror. Okay, the reason that you don't go it against and Chinese potentially, the reason that you don't go it against civs like Ottomans, French, Rus, Delhi, Mongols is because they're quite aggressive, and when you commit that many resources to building multiple TCs, they can often just kill you. And so there are other solutions to deal with those civs. Okay. What else? As for after, the economic wing, when you choose your next wing, you can either choose between culture or military wing. It is up to you depending on the situation, and we will go through that in a later video. The next, if you're going culture wing first, this I would say is probably the most rare right now. It is where you are trying to fast castle. So what this does is it reduces the cost of all technology and age advancements by 20%. So instead of it being 1200 and 600, so 1200 food and 600 gold to age up to castle, it's only going to cost you 960 food, I believe, and 480 gold to age up. So you can potentially get a faster age up. The situations you might want to do this are against HRE, potentially an Abbasid mirror, and that's pretty much it. And that's why it's seldomly used. You might want to use it to try and match the HRE's castle timing, or to try and get into castle in an Abbasid mirror and then send Ghulams or knights into their base, because at that point they won't have crossbows to deal with armored units. Okay. And next we have the military wing. This, I would say, is definitely the most common right now because it's the most flexible. It gives you 2 spearmen and 2 archers in age 2, and you can either use those to defend yourself, but more often than not, you're going to be aggressive with those units and try to deny resources of your opponent, because these units will come out faster than any other units in the game, because even civs like French and English, which have age 2 buildings that produce units, they still need to build the building and then produce the units. So this one, when the military wing finishes, the units are 4 units are automatically produced. And if you look at kind of the value, 2 spearmen and 2 archers, that's 80 resources for a spearman and 80 resources for an archer. That's 320 resources that you kind of instantly get. You don't need to build an archer range or a barracks to get these units. And boot camp is a very strong upgrade, which gives plus 15% HP to all infantry, and so can often make a difference in even number fights. And so you would go military wing against any type of aggressive civ, so Ottoman, French, Rus, Delhi, Mongols, even English you might go military wing against, even HRE you might go military wing against. Really, there's no bad scenario in going military wing. It's just how greedy and how passive you want to be. Okay. The last is trade wing. Now, trade wing is much more specific. So if we have a look at the, it's very map dependent. So if we have a look at the maps, you would want to go trade wing where the markets, the markets spawn in the corner. So and you are able to be fairly defensive. So if we have a look right now at the ranked map pool. This is actually a pretty good trade map pool, right? Prairie has a long trade route at the back. Golden Heights has the market in the corner, so you can trade there. Hideout, similar thing. Highview, similar thing. Hill and Dale, similar thing. Lipany can vary. Lipany's markets can be like Dry Arabia, where they kind of spawn in the middle and so aren't as good. The Pit you could trade on, and Wetlands isn't great, but it is fairly defensible. So where you would see trade the most is probably on Hillendale, because again it's very defensible, because you need to be able to defend your trade. And Altai, which is currently not in the ranked map pool but is often in the ranked map pool. Altai is also a really good map to open trade wing on. You just need to make sure that you protect your trade. And how the trade wing works is that, other than getting gold, Abbasid have a special unique technology that when you go trade wing is you get Grand Bazaar. And what this means is that you can get food or wood from the trade as well. So once you get this, your first trip will give you food and gold, and then we'll give you food and gold on the return. Okay, and that's a quick breakdown into all 4 wings, and where and why you would play each wing. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.